Actually, God opened a bigger door, and that is the ministry of Pamas. Okay, we cried with my wife.
Wow.
This is God's answer. As the pandemic goes on, and the Pamas ministry is still active, people are still are started to open their hearts wide for the Seventh-day Adventist ministry.
Oh, that's very good.
Evangelism is no longer an issue because they have seen how God used the aviation.
If it's your first time here, make sure you hit the big subscribe button and don't forget to click the bell icon so you don't miss a thing.
Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good night. I don't know what time you're watching this, but I want to say greetings from the Philippines. I kind of like the Filipino, mabuhay, you know, mabuhay from the Philippines. So just want to say welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the studio. If you like these videos, we encourage you to give a thumbs up, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel, let us know where you're watching from and how you're benefiting from these videos. And again, I always say you can share the content with family and friends and those that you think that you can benefit from. In the studio, I have with me a handsome gentleman here, and I'm gonna let him tell you who he is and where he's from. So welcome, Pastor, and this is the long-awaited video.
Good day, good night, whatever. My name is Pstr Melchisedec Anover. I'm from the southern Philippines. I graduated from Mountain View College way back 22 years ago. And you know, imagine, anyway, the forehead will tell you how long was the journey in this kind of ministry. By the way, for the moment, I am connected with the Central Luzon Conference and currently assigned in Palana and Isabela.
Very good. So Pastor Melchi is a Seventh-day Adventist pastor, basically assigned in a little remote area called Palanan, and I've been working with him now for a while, but Pastor, what is it like in Palanan area? What is that area like?
Okay, actually Palanan actually is kind of a isolated town. It's part of the coastal towns of Sierra Madre. It's very tall and long mountain. Anyway, it's an isolated place wherein there's no road access from the bigger community here outside. And then people there, actually there are some old folks there who have never been out of Palanan. That is why it was kind of a challenging place to do the ministry.
Okay. So how many years now you have been assigned in Palana? Now how many churches you are monitoring? What is the membership like?
Okay, for the moment I already have, actually I have 2 church buildings, I mean congregations with church building, but I am working on 20 congregations around Palanan. It has only actually 17 barangays, but there are big barangays that we had more than 2 congregations in it.
Okay. So how is it like for you now when you have to travel through those areas to minister to your congregation?
Actually, talking from that angle of our ministry, that was the most challenging from Manila, we have to travel 2 days from Manila to Dilasag, and then from Dilasag, another challenge is that it depends upon the weather. If the weather is bad, sometimes we get stranded for a week or more. But from Dilasag, you have to travel by boat to Palanan for 8 to 10 hours.
Wow, wow.
So imagine, with my family and with a little kid, we are traveling that long.
Wow. So, I mean, you shared with me in the past that when you arrive in Palanan, what was the people's reaction like when it comes to the Seventh-day Adventist Church and our religion and so on?
Actually, people, when I arrived there, learning that there are also, I think, as far as I know, from the Central Luzon Conference pastors, there were already 4 who have been assigned in that area, but and I am the 5th. But I found out that when I arrived, that people are still aloof with the pastors. Actually, at first I was amazed. Why do these people reacted that way? And then lately I found out that they still have this kind of mentality that is some kind of a primitive.
Wow.
That when looking or seeing new faces, they cannot easily go along with them. So the challenge was, when I heard that there are 3, I was told that there are 3 congregations actively doing their services, but when I arrived, nobody is attending church. So I have to start over again. Then until I come to the point of asking the Lord, please open more doors for us. With my family, with our son, he's just 3 or 4 years old that time. We kneel every time, and we actually woke up in the middle of the night to seek God's help. And then finally, God opened a bigger door that will even touch the hearts of the people, and will change their impression about Adventism. By the way, I would like to share a little bit
That's
about
fine.
this thing.
Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
because previously, many years ago, there were groups of Adventist believers who came and who also have the same advocacy to preach the gospel. But upon hearing about Palanan's history, that there were Japanese people who came there during the Second World War and buried some treasures, they were tempted to join those people who have that interest, and that is why there was a very hurting impression that many people have in that place about 70 Adventists who came just to do treasure digging. And I have to break that, but actually by our own capacity to break those barriers, we can do nothing actually. But luckily, or actually, God opened a bigger door, and that is the ministry of Pamas. Okay, so
That's all right. So, I mean, we're really glad. I mean, there's one aspect you mentioned that I am interested in, which was, you mentioned to me when we just met, started working together, that you would go door to door and visit the sick and do natural remedies, etc. So, I'm sure the viewers are wondering, why would a pastor be going door to door and administering to the sick? We are thinking pastors just be in the church, preach, how did that work for you, and what was your experience
actually, before I went there, and even before I applied as pastor with the Central Luzon Conference, I was already a medical missionary.
Oh,
And
okay.
since I am deeply convinced about Christ's method. That's one of Christ's method during his ministry. That is one of my strategy, adapting Christ's method to reach out people. When I arrive, of course, people doesn't know how to take care of themselves. There are some stroke patients paralyzed, and they don't know, and they don't know how to treat themselves, and they don't even have the access to go out of the place of Palanan, go out of Palanan right away. Number one reason is that financial reason, and then another thing is that they don't have much trust on people outside, because they think that those people there will just were just after their money, and then coming back will be another struggle. So I did my medical missionary strategy, yeah, and luckily I managed with God's help to gather people to be in the church, and even those who were baptized many years ago were revived. But I have seen that it is not enough.
Right, very good. So you guys have heard it, Pastor Mel was not just straight from theology school right into a nice congregation or a district waiting for him. He had to figure out ways and means, and I think that took you a little bit outside of the regular routine of pastoral ministry. You have to figure out things. I know you're married, you have your wife and your son.
Yes.
How was that transition like on your family to be in such a rough area, starting from scratch to work your way up? How was that like for the family unit with your efforts?
Actually, it did not give me more struggle about when it comes to that kind of thing, because my wife is 7 years younger than I.
Okay.
Well, old Carabao with young grass, they said. But yeah, when she knew me, I was already a missionary. I am already a missionary, and since she knew me as a missionary, now that we had this. I would say this. We love each other. Actually, she tried to pray to the Lord that somehow God will give her also a missionary heart, and that is why even before we got married, I told her, "You will be going to places where you don't want to go."
Right.
Well, anyway, God has been so gracious to her, gracious to us, that after our wedding, she told me, "I will go wherever you want me to go."
Amen. And we're gonna share some photos with you guys as you watch these videos. I've seen the photos, and that's why I ask you, because we're friends on Facebook, and your wife is the one who works the camera the most. And I've seen where all of you guys are traveling together. I see the muddy path, the rugged area. You have to go under some big trees.
Yes.
And as I'm watching those pictures, I'm saying to myself, how is the family traveling? You have your son as well. He's a part of that with boots. Sometimes you're lifting him and helping him across. And I mean, just watching that, you would naturally say, I wonder how is that journey. But as you can hear for yourself, the wife having a missionary spirit really complements that effort and love people. So we really praise the Lord that you're not just mated, but you guys are partnered with the right thing for the unit. So transitioning over, you've been in Palanan, rough area, you did the medical missionary effort, you start winning confidence. I'm new to Palanan as a missionary pilot. How did the aviation ministry get to you and start helping Palanan?
Well, way back 3 years, more than 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, I received a call from Manong Job Kalagyan telling me that the the Adventist airplane will come to Palanan, you have to talk to them because they need to know how the weather like is how the weather is like in Palanan, and that was during December. That's the northeast monsoon. That's the most terrible season in Palanan. And then so how do I connect with them? I don't have their number. No, they will just call you. And I remember that was Brian Lupke, yeah, the director here before. And then it just after a few hours, I heard someone talking to me in Cebuan and in Tagalog and in Ilocano. Multi dialect. How do I respond? Will I respond in Tagalog or in Ilocano or in Cebuan? Yeah, Pastor, I could speak Cebuan, whatever dialect you could communicate. Well, anyway, I told him, okay, I heard that there's an Adventist plane coming. So what information you like? The weather is terrible. Well, okay, we are trying to land, bringing some stuff from Brother Job Kalagya. Okay, so I'll be waiting, and I was not expecting for any plane to arrive because the weather is terrible. But hope amazingly or miraculously, I hear a plane, and they said we are 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, we will be landing Palanan. Can you see any visibility? Is there any visibility? And then I think that was Ray. Yeah, your airport is now visible. And then I took my motorcycle and then went to the airport and then meet them. Brought the stuff and leave it in the airport and brought them to the house because I am not positive that they could fly that day. And then they went with me, and then we had some talk, and then they opened their, actually I should say, they opened their hearts for Palanan. And you know what? We cried with my wife.
Wow.
This is God's answer. You know what? From that day, many people came to me. Oh, whose plane was that? Why did they come to the pastor's house? And then after we talked with Ray and Brother Brian, they said I think we could see if we could fly, and then they said that the weather in Banwar is better, so they flew. But the problem was that I am just like, I should say, people are coming to me and they're asking, oh, your pilots are so brave with this kind of weather. It's been a month that there's no airplane that came.
Okay.
And then after that, I told them, watch out, they will be coming back. We'll talk to the mayor and then do the courtesy visit and then ask for their permission for PAMA's plane to regularly come in order to meet some medical emergencies or medical evacuation. And then they said, oh really? Oh, Palanan was so blessed. That is why after a few days or weeks, they came actually with Brian, and we talked to the mayor, and then the mayor was so glad. And that was the first time that I have seen how God extended his hand to help the ministry in Palanan. And from that time on, you know, the impression is no longer like before, that the Seventh-day Adventists are just treasure hunters and things like that. The Seventh-day Adventists are people who help the needy.
Very good. So, I mean, as I said, I keep saying I'm new. I've just been here as the assigned pilot since April of this year. Can you help us to understand, like, what? Give us an actual scenario of, okay, the aviation ministry exists. We come in to help with medevac patients and so on, but how is your involvement with the aviation ministry in Palanan? Like, I like an example of a patient. Someone is sick
Yeah.
and they don't have money. What do they do usually?
Yeah, okay. So what happened is like this. After we talk with the mayor, I talked to the hospital and the rural health unit, and then I told them that whenever there are serious sickness or some medical emergencies, just let me know, and then we will talk with the mayor. If ever these people doesn't have any financial help, so the mayor is going to help us. Actually, that was one of the most challenging thing, because when PAMAS start transferring medical emergencies, they don't ask for any financial assistance. But after some time that many people knew about it, so the mayor, especially when there was an epidemic, the dengue breakdown, and Captain Ray transported 15 patients. 15. So imagine how many times he flew.
Right.
So the mayor came to me and said, Pastor, we appreciate so much with your ministry here, but how could we help you? Yeah.
Right.
Then I said, I think with the fuel. Okay, so from this time on, every flight we will give 5,000 pesos for fuel share, and that is coming from the emergency fund of the municipality. So from that time on, everybody were having that close connection with us, and then impression was changed. People who came to me for help, Pastor, I want. That was the very first time that I was overwhelmed with the word pastor. You know what? Because even the little children, especially those who benefit our ministry, call me pastor. Good morning, pastor. Everybody calls me pastor, and even the higher officials of the government. And then these people came to me, Pastor, we are so sorry. Our impression before were very negative as far as Adventism.
Wow.
But this time, you know what? Everybody were looking at Seventh-day Adventist as a God. God said ministry. You know what? Because they have seen how we help people. That is why, and especially those pilots that we had, Dwayne, Captain Ray, who's really started the ministry there, who helped us, and also Ryan Lucky. They spoke softly. Of course, I am even embarrassed to talk with them with my diction, because you know what, Bisaya, and then, of course.
So the culture shock.
Culture shock.
Right.
Because you know what, Palanan people are not actually natives from Palanan, but many of them are natives from different kind of tribes. There are
okay.
Ifugaos, there are Kalingas there are from Aurora, so there are Tagalog, there are the Cebuans, there are Ilonggos also, and some are Muslims.
Wow.
That
So
is
it's a
why
mixing
mix,
pot.
yeah, mix. Yeah,
Right.
when they hear the people who talk harsh words, and then some even the tone of the voice, they are actually trying to say, oh, I think there's a little problem with this. Maybe why is it that his tone is that strong? Well, that is why I tried to explain to them with this kind of thing, because I don't want to break the impression. Anyway,
That's good.
it's a very big blessing for Palana to have
The aviation ministry.